everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man on the so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. Ladies and gentlemen, another week in the books. We are here on this Tuesday night. I hope your day went well, because you already know what you're here for. The Roundtable. And hey, you know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know who I am here with.
Who? What happened? Oh.
I had to go to the doctor because the asthma has been acting up because there's too much daggone smoke in the building whenever my buddy is here. My guy, Nicholas, I want the smoke, Rosario.
Well, thank you very much for the beautiful introduction. Yes. That's
Gotta
right. You
love
guys better after week 5. Yes, I am on smoke alert. So
Right.
do not mess with me today.
I'm telling you, let's go. And yo,
Go ahead.
I cannot forget other member, the host of the longest running segment of On the Roundtable, Diversity with Delilah, Crespo. Yeah. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing today?
Wait, it's Tuesday in the Shy, and it
Right?
rained a little bit today, and it was cool, so that was good. Love October weather in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
I do though. I prefer hoodies and sweatshirts, so it's perfect weather.
Hoodie season is great. You
Right.
just throw on a
It's
hoodie
perfect.
and just leave.
Perfect,
yeah.
right. Perfect
Oh, yeah.
weather right now in Chicago. I'm loving it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a hoodie.
I love it. You get the hoodie. That means it's getting cooler outside. You know it's starting to. You're gonna start putting away the short sleeves, getting out the jeans and stuff like that. And you're about to have some good football.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. This is what it's all about. And if you've been watching, ladies and gentlemen, things have been happening left and right. We've seen what happened in the NFL, but we can also go to college football, where the mighty Alabama has fallen. They lose to Texas A&M this past weekend.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, which has ripple effects all the way through, not just college, but pros. But we're here to talk pro football because there is too much going on. But before we do, you already know how we start the show, have to do our birthdays. Real quick, I am going to take this moment to say happy birthday to my father. Yesterday, he turned 82 years old, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, how about that?
82 years old, Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
He's been in radio, he's been in TV, he's been in the medical field, retired a couple times, still back working. Just keeps on moving. Puts the Energizer Bunny to shame. You know what I mean?
Apparently, right.
People ask me, Sean, you got all these shows. How can you do it? My dad did all this when I was sitting here in diapers. How can I sit here and take a break? You know what I mean? So shout out to my father. I went over there and saw him yesterday, man. Love you, Pops. You already know. He's the inspiration. He's the reason why I do any of this stuff. So definitely.
Well, happy birthday, Mr. Spencer. Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I salute you, sir.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
And also got to shout out my cousin. Can't leave him out. My cousin, Brandon Byfield, who is in the Let's Talk Football Fans League.
Oh, is he?
He was winning. He was winning the Fans League. I'll look up his name in a minute. But he was the leader of the Fans League. He was undefeated for a while. Then he got knocked off. And I think he's lost a couple in a row. But yeah, he definitely is getting it in. Shout you out, buddy, man. My cousin, love you to death, man. Hope all is well with you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. So, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, like we alluded to earlier, there were so many games this weekend that just caught our fancy. I went to the Washington game, which, yes, we took the L. Okay.
No,
I still have the hat on. Nothing else
Of
on.
course.
The shirt is.
Got
But I got to represent something. I got to represent something. But needless to say, it was not my pick for game of the week. But we have picks this week for our picks for game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, which is a new segment where we're going to sit here and give you, instead of really breaking down every single game, we want to sit here and give you the game that we sat there and dove into and watched and paid attention to and just, or showed us something, gave us a little spark that we're like, oh, watch this team from here on out. So, Nick, I'm going to start with you with actually probably my second pick for game of the week. Nick, the Chargers beat the Browns 47-42. My goodness. Talk to us, man.
Well, I picked this game. I think the main reason is just because of the teams involved.
Yeah.
These are two of the teams that we thought at the beginning of the year, the AFC, these are going to be two of the more, the teams that were going to take that next step, as it were. And at least the Browns, the Chargers were right behind them, I felt like, in terms of, going to the next level with Justin Herbert. Yeah. But this was a phenomenal game that maybe started out slow. And in just like the second half, just was an explosion of offense. It just was like, to that end, I want to give you numbers. That's my word for the week is numbers, because some of these you just look at and go, what in the first is 531. Ooh. That is what the Browns outgained. The Browns outgained the Chargers 531-493.
Yeah.
So even in a losing effort, they managed 531 yards of offense.
Jeez.
That is absolutely incredible to me, and you lose.
Yeah.
56, which is what both teams combined to score in the second half. 56 and 41 of those were in the fourth quarter, my friend, in the final quarter.
Yeah.
So think about this. What I'm saying, this game started out a little slow, and in the second half, I don't know. They must have put something in the Gatorade at halftime or something, because this game just exploded.
Picked up.
After that, I guess.
Picking up.
52, which is one of the touchdown runs of Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb had a great week again this week in a losing effort. But he had a 52-yard touchdown run, just swatting at Chargers left and right as he ran for it. So that was an impressive run to me. The Browns actually lead 12. Here's another number. They finished Sunday with NFL leading 12 rushing touchdowns, which is that's an average of 2.5 a game.
Yeah.
So the running game for the Browns we knew was going to be good.
Two-headed monster.
And you guys are saying, okay, yeah, sure, Nick, they have a running game. But what about Mr. giving kids nachos for Halloween, Mr. Baker Mayfield? Well, I'm going to tell you what Baker did, what the Nacho Man did. As a matter of fact, that is my new nickname for Baker Mayfield. When I say the Nacho Man, you know
Nacho
who I'm
Man.
talking about. Mayfield passed for 309 yards and went 23 of 32 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, for a passer rating of 122.7, his quarterback rating. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. This was the next step that Baker, even though it's a losing effort, this is the step that Baker Mayfield absolutely needed to take. Yep. He needs to have games like this all the time.
For sure.
Because the offense that he had, even Njoku, when Njoku first was drafted by the Browns, everybody was like, oh my God, they got this stud tight end. This guy's going to be, and you just have heard nothing from him. Nothing. All of a sudden, Sunday, the guy decides to break out with 149 yards and a touchdown, and the whole, it's like, hey, David Njoku, where you been, my friend?
Right. Exactly.
And all of us, so again, Chargers come out on top, and this is the important part. I know Delilah's going to get more into that with Mr. Herbert, but you have to, give credit here. This is these are games that the Chargers might have lost last year.
Right.
These kinds of shootouts, because you still had an inexperienced quarterback and Justin Herbert, but man, I'm telling you, this year, this guy's money under pressure, whatever, he's delivering. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I know, and with the Chiefs on the slide, and with, now maybe Vegas on the slide, and Denver has lost a couple in a row, the Chargers are alone in the AFC West, my friend. And I'm telling you, you look up in a couple of weeks, they may be running away with that division. So, this was a great game. like for both teams. But again, Chargers come out on top, man. And you can't, you look at the play on both sides. I mean, again, I know your defense gave up 42 points. Well, the Browns defense gave up 47 and lost.
Right.
That's one of the better defenses in the league.
I'm talking about defense.
Right. So you could throw that argument out the window.
Right.
But the Chargers have been playing well for them, both sides of the ball. And Justin Herbert did have a great game. His stats will be brought on later by somebody else. But I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This was a great game to watch. And again, it started out a little slow, but man, that second half points to, if you're an offensive person and you just want to watch some offensive football, that second half was all for you, baby.
Yes.
That's all they did was light up the
Fireworks.
scoreboard. Yeah, it's stuff everywhere. So my game of the week, I give to you, Chargers 47, Browns 42.
Love it. Yeah, David Wright said Herbert is special, man.
Yeah,
Herbert is special. And
hard to argue that, huh?
Shout out to Zagnif Productions talking about they are looking real legit with being the Chargers. That defense, you got Bosa back, Derwin James. I'm telling you, watch out for him, ladies and gentlemen. If he can stay healthy this year, watch out for him being in the running. I mean, against obviously Trayvon Diggs. That's all we're going to talk about, Dallas fans. It's the only Dallas we're talking about.
Right.
but Derwin James is going to be up there for Defensive Player of the Year because he's that good. But we got to move on. I'm not even going to give him time to even comment on the Cowboys. So, Delilah, we're coming to you with probably one of the only teams that could challenge and pretty much beat the Chargers right now. And that's saying something because the Chargers are really good, but the Buffalo Bills. Delilah, the Buffalo Bills are kind of like, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you follow us on fantasy, but in one of our leagues, Delilah is a buzzsaw.
Killing everybody, as it were.
Destroying everybody, undefeated.
In another league, I suck.
Well, that's kind of how Buffalo is. They are dominant. They proved it this week. We talked about how the Chiefs are falling off. Talk to me about this game, Delilah.
Yeah, so I think the more that we see Buffalo and Josh Allen, last year people kind of felt like, they came kind of behind the Chiefs, right? But now they're kind of proving the fact that they can go. They can go all the way. Like they really have it in them to beat good teams, right? Because we always have good teams, bad teams. I know we hate that word, but I'm saying they're out there. They lost one game, and after that, they've just been stomping through all of their opponents. Like they're just like boom, 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 right? One loss, one bad game, and they were able to adjust, and that is amazing. So for that, that's great. And the Josh Allen got even better than he was last season, right? Because last season he played really well, but this season he's at a whole other level, right? He's getting it done, right? He got his own, he was rushing, he ran the game, he got his own touchdown, right? So like he's proving that he's also mobile, right? Because they weren't sure, like, oh, he's not really mobile. Oh, he's mobile, right?
He moved.
He moved, right? He's got his like rushing yards, right? He had no interceptions yesterday either. He threw, 3 touchdowns. One, his passer rating is 139.1, right? And so he threw for 315 yards. And again, 0 interceptions. So he had, he's been improving every single game, right? I knew he was gonna throw 5 touchdowns on Kansas City, right? Like he's done in the past. But he still got 3 touchdowns on them, right? And he still like came away with that win. And I think that was the game to really watch, to see,
Kind of like passing the torch. Right?
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying KC is gonna lose every single game that comes up, but the fact is that I think we all talked about it, that people figured out how to beat them, right? And that's what you do, right? You figure out how to beat them, and Buffalo definitely figured out how to beat them. So yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Josh Allen, Buffalo, kudos to you guys. You guys are like just killing it, hopefully, like, we keep seeing them win more games. We have bye weeks coming up next week, right? Like bye weeks start.
Bye week start week 6. Yep.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens. Hopefully they could keep it going. Because sometimes a bye week, we've seen some teams come back strong after a bye week, and some not so, depending how they use that time, right?
Yeah.
So so go Buffalo. I mean, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on y'all.
Right.
No, love it. Absolutely love it. Still, I got to shout out all the people that are watching. You got David Wright in here saying, Casey wanted that win, and for Buff to absolutely crush them like that at home, just terrified the league. I agree. The Bills are the truth.
Yep.
Nathan said the Bills are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. R.I.P. Denny Green. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Nate. You want to crown him? Go ahead.
Right. Crown him already. Right.
Crown him. Go ahead and crown him.
Zach Nip Productions had Chargers and Ravens and Bills. Oh my! I can dig it. Well, now I kind of feel bad because the game that I'm going to mention on this list is nowhere near those games on this list. I'm going to the Green Bay Cincinnati game. And look, I know it, Nick. I already know you hate this guy. I'm not going to even talk about him. I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not talking about Jeopardy. I'm not talking about Waterfall. All right, I'm not talking about any of it. Yes, thank you, Delilah.
Who doesn't get credit?
Devontae Adams, who I know we've mentioned him earlier in the year.
He needs way more credit for that team.
He needs to have a lot more credit. He needs to be looked at as definitely one of the elite. We already look at him very high, but he needs to be up there, one of the super elite. He had 11 catches, over 200 yards, and a touchdown in that game.
Yeah,
and look, we saw that it took a kicker, 4 shots to win the game. You know what I mean? So it stinks because Devontae Adams has such a great game. And hey, look, we know the outcome. Crosby misses the kick right before going into overtime, misses a couple in overtime to finally get that kick, finally get it. He had 7 attempts altogether and hit 4, for the game winner. So, hey, he got the game winner. So I guess at the end of the day, he gets his. But the reason why I mentioned this game is not because of Aaron Rodgers, not because of Devontae Adams. I mentioned this game because of the Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen. They lost this game. Yes, they are 3-2. Got to shout out Burrow. He took that nasty hit. They had to rush him to the hospital. Hopefully things are, getting better. I definitely want to. If you guys know in the comments, definitely let us know. But he had 2 interceptions.
He played through a contusion, man.
Exactly.
He had a neck contusion, and he finished that game, and then went to the hospital.
Right. This man is a leader. This man is tough, and he is a legit quarterback. We all go and talk about Justin Herbert, and rightfully so. But I really feel like because of how much Justin Herbert shines, and because Burrow got hurt at the end of last year, I think people are starting to sleep a little bit on Burrow. But this team is a dangerous team, ladies and gentlemen. They are a dangerous team. And I know they lost this one. I got to shout out that LSU connection, man, between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had another big one, 159 yards.
Nuts. That one hit, I was like, what?
He is playing top tier form. He is showing out like Justin Jefferson did a year ago.
And would have had a second one if it wasn't for that penalty.
Well, right.
But he had a second one. But
what is this? What is this? Is this?
Who's got something to say?
Oh man. Is that Wendy?
Yeah. Who else?
Oh yeah. Here we go. You knew it was coming. You knew the smoke was coming.
You know what, Wendy? I'll tell you what, though. You want it fine. I know, given the history, that everybody is predicting the Packers to beat us up next weekend, and that's fine.
I don't know.
You guys can continue with your illusions and your fantasies about Aaron Rodgers leading you to the promised land.
Oh, my goodness.
Green Bay. But that's all you got, my friend, is illusions, hopes, and dreams.
You knew it was coming.
Scattered on a cold October day in Chicago this Sunday.
Let's go.
My beloved Bears finally take out those Green Bay Packers on our lakefront. Okay,
you heard
Wendy,
it here.
Because I tell you what, I thought about this real quick since you guys brought it up, since Wendy wanted to chime in. Let's think about this for a minute.
Nick.
Here it
Let's
comes.
think about this. You lost the first week to who? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. The New Orleans Saints, right?
No comment.
0-1. Yeah, no, exactly. Then I believe you beat a sub 500 team the next week, if I'm not mistaken. Which everybody, okay, fine. Aaron Rodgers is on his way back. Okay. Then I believe your third win was also against a sub 500 team, if I am correct, which I believe I am. And then, fine, you beat this Cincinnati team this week, but it took for them to basically give you the game as well because your kicker couldn't hit water if he fell out of a freaking boat.
Yep.
And it, so it took that kid missing 2 field goals as well for you guys to get a chance a fourth time to win this game.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd be pounding my chest about how great Green Bay is. And I'm telling you, come to Chicago this time. This is not the Chicago of 4 or 5 years ago when Jay Cutler was smoking cigarettes and just throwing whoever was around. This is not those Bears. This is a different Bears team whose defense is playing this year. And we finally got a quarterback who's a little bit mobile, and they're finally starting to play to his strengths.
So, Nick, what are you predicting, man? Come out and say it.
I'm predicting a Bears victory. What's
the score?
Obvious. It'll be close because, again, they still have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae. Like, I'm not trying to be – we're going to blow them out.
No,
I think we get them. I think in the end, Justin Fields gets them. I'm going to go 24-20.
Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
That make me crazy.
You let me know if that makes him crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in him.
To God's ears.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Speak it into existence. Hey, somebody else thinks we're going to beat the Chiefs this week. So that might make me crazy. So ain't nothing wrong with it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, I'm going to just speak it into existence and be like, that's
it. If we're speaking it, let's speak it. Let's go.
You know how I know the Bears are going to win? You know how I know that? It's also one of those things because I'm getting together with family. Yeah. And every time the Rosario clan gets together to go watch the game at his place and have some lunch, we generally win.
Yeah.
The Rosario family is getting together on Sunday at noon for this game to get some of our favorite food at a local establishment, and we're going to be cheering. We're going to win this weekend. That's all I got to say.
Let's go. Let's
go. We're coming for you.
Here we go. You're getting love from a Cowboys fan. David Wright agrees. Da Bears. And it says, Nick, normally I'd call this a homer pick, but I'm with you. I'm with Nick on that one.
You can call me a homer all you want, son.
But wait.
I see how you guys are with your, Cowboys.
So, yeah. We're again, that's a second reference to Dallas. We're not no more references.
I didn't think Janae was on this show. We don't talk about the Cowboys.
Right.
Janae's on the other show.
We'll make it 5-1 this Sunday. Oh,
the flagship. She's on the flagship. This is the other show.
It's just got smoky up in
That's
here.
Right.
Let's get it.
Told you.
I'm
always here if you want the smoke.
Listen, all I'm gonna say, and I know you're so only time, but listen, I am a very big Dak fan, and I know David is hold out until he could prove his point, which I get it. But I feel like he's having a great comeback.
So far, Dak is having a good year. Yes, he is.
He got hurt last year. We saw I don't know if you guys saw the post, right? Before when he was crying, obviously, because he knew his season was over. To come back and just, I got to give him props for that. I'm not going to hate on that.
He's definitely the anniversary of a comeback player of the year. Right
without
now.
doubt.
Kudos to him, man.
You got to give him that. That's exactly
All right. Well, listen.
That's about all I'll give him. Let's go. Where we at?
Right. Exactly.
Thank you. Sorry, I know we're trying to keep the show going.
I will not slow the show down and talk damn Dallas. Okay. Don't get them going. All right, we have to move on because we talked about the game of the week. But look, this league. Let's be honest. This league is romanticizes the player. We've seen how the league loves the trophy thrower, Mr. Tom Brady. They love him some awful. You know what I mean? What we see, what happens where you Patrick Mahomes, we call him baby go. Not doing it again. I did it yesterday. I'm trying to go to. My therapist said once a week.
Right,
once a week. Just do it once a week. You can only do it once.
Right.
Yo, but we have to go and move on to our picks for player of the week. And as the guys alluded to earlier, Delilah, you will be covering last year's Rookie of the Year, Justin Herbert. Yeah, what you got?
Yeah, that honestly, like, I am in awe of this kid, right? I mean, I know I still call him kid because he's still in his 20s. So listen, like last year we saw the potential and we saw that he was throwing interceptions, but as we've learned in this league, just because you start your rookie year with interceptions doesn't mean that it'll stay that way, right? It's a learning. That's how you get welcome to the NFL. They're going to sack you. They're going to intercept you. They are going to welcome you into this league, my friend. To take a phrase from Nick, they're going to welcome you into this league, my friend.
That's right.
Okay?
Welcome to the league, my
So
friend.
they're going to make sure that you are adequately, brought to, hey, this isn't college football, right? The rules are a little different here. Yeah. So again, like I'm glad that whoever that quarterback coach is, man, I don't know who it is. Sorry, that's something I didn't look up. But man, did he help this kid? He threw for 398 yards yesterday and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
like that was insane.
4, baby.
That was crazy. Mike Williams had 2 of those touchdowns.
Yeah.
With 165 yards.
Oh, my right.
So whoever started Mike Williams on a win.
I start him every week.
Right.
I got him on 2 teams, 2 leagues. That was 41 points yesterday, my friend.
Right.
I'm talking about Mike Williams every week, baby.
Right. So kudos to Herbert. And I think just like Nick said earlier, since that was his game of the week, they are, the Chargers right now are looking good to take that division. Like seriously, they're looking real good to take that division. We thought that there was going to be like a fight, but obviously we know one team might be disillusioned right now. Who knows? We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so I honestly think the Chargers are looking good to take that division. I gotta agree with Nick. It's looking real good.
Yeah.
So next week they have a tough game. Hopefully it's a fun one too. So I guess we'll see how next week goes, right? I think that's gonna be one hell of a game too.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, I absolutely agree. He's right now he's moving from off Rookie of the Year to at this particular point, and I know it's early, but we have to mention him in the MVP conversation.
MVP.
He lifts that team. Well, he lifts that team up. He does.
He's the spark plug that makes him go. Yeah.
Well, he's the straw that stirs the drink. But we have to move on to I don't know if he's in the comments, but if you ever say something about this man's quarterback, he will bite your head off. Nathan Snell, if you're in the comments, we're going to talk about your boy. Nicholas Rosario is going to cover the great Lamar Jackson. He has an arm, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that right now. The man has an arm.
I don't, don't even get me started on that argument. Seriously.
Yo, give him smoke.
I'm sorry. Look, I know that people joke about stuff and like people, but I'm just going to call you guys out. On our thread yesterday in our fantasy league, you guys were talking some serious trash about Lamar Jackson. And again, whether you like the guy or not, that's a totally different thing. But never disparage a man's talent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you looked at some of those throws he made, yes, did he miss receivers? He missed a couple, sure. What quarterback hasn't?
Right.
I've seen the best in the game miss wide open people. So just throw that argument right out the window. He went 37 of 43 yesterday for 442 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
And those passes had zip. Those passes were in tight coverages. Those passes, and then Mark Andrews all of a sudden had a nice breakout game because he definitely was the target in the fourth quarter. Man, he threw everything. It seemed like everything went to Mark Andrews.
Tight end connection.
But I'm telling you, Lamar put the team on his back yesterday. I mean, they were down the entire game. You know what I'm saying? Like they
his numbers were wild.
Yeah, man. Even trust me, he had 14 rushes for 60. He did have 1 fumble,
Yeah.
But again, here's a guy who put the team on his back. He doesn't have running backs. Let's be honest, guys. He lost all his running backs to injury.
Mm-hmm.
You're plugging and playing guys with Tavius Murray and this and that, and you're trying your best to plug guys in. But let's be honest, Lamar runs that show.
Yep.
He just went off last night. However you want to put it. Again, when you only missed 6 passes,
100%.
he threw 43 passes and completed 37 of them.
Right.
That's incredible. You could,
right.
He doesn't have an arm, but who's throwing the ball then? Like Ghost? What, Casper's playing quarterback? And
there you go. There you go.
So I don't want to hear any more of these arguments about Lamar can't throw. He doesn't have an arm. He's all legs. Blah 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 blah.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I'm telling you,
hey,
Lamar. See, and this is the thing though. Lamar has games like this.
Yeah.
And people still will rag on him about do you people not understand that he doesn't have a lot to? I mean, if you think Marquise Hollywood Brown is a great receiver, I mean, again, he's not a bad receiver. But you think that's his number one receiver.
Right.
This is the guy who's supposed to, make every catch. And no, that's the guy he's got to rely on to throw to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, him and Sammy Watkins.
Those are the guys who inspire Kurt, come on, man.
Yeah.
You guys act like he's got the greatest receivers in the world and he just misses them. No, that is not what's going on there. And for real, if you guys you need to watch a Baltimore game sometime. Maybe you don't get enough Ravens games or something because I've watched this man. I even watched this man play in college. Okay, I watched him at Louisville. I'm telling you, that kid always had talent. He could run, he could throw, and I just, but he needs help. I mean, they're not gonna. See, that's the thing. They're only going to go as far as Lamar can take them in that sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's it.
If Lamar has games like this all the time, then sure, they're going to be successful. But you can't have every game where you throw 37 to 43 for 4 touchdowns. That's not going to happen every game. And this is the thing. Lamar needs help. To the owners of the Baltimore Ravens.
I agree.
Get that man, whatever you have to do, help that man out. Because seriously,
let me tell you,
one man cannot do it alone in the NFL.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can. But Derrick Henry is wasted in Tennessee. Yeah. Get that man to Baltimore so he could take over RB.
You mentioned him on the Ravens? Like, seriously.
Hell yeah, that'd be great.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Nate.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
But Nate,
you know what? Hold up, Nick. Hold up. Let me say something. Let's not forget that y'all was down 22. Let's not forget that y'all was playing crappy early. Okay, because I'm not playing. I went hard at Nate in the comments yesterday.
Right, that's right.
I'm gonna leave him alone. Hey, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Nate, I don't know if you saw the beginning of what he said, but Nick hit the nail on the head. Anybody that's going to talk about this man doesn't have an arm and can't throw needs to kick rocks. Okay, and I don't mean to disrespect, but watch football, watch the game. Okay, even in college, he had a cannon.
Those throws he made yesterday, though, some of them were really 2 and 3 defenders, and he's putting it right on the money, where only the receiver could catch it. I mean, those were some nice throws, man. And again, that's why I picked him as player of the week. I mean, Delilah, Herbert, the week he had, Mayfield, the week he had, all great, no doubt. But not the one guy who really put the team on his back and willed them to a victory was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but you took him. So I had to take the number 2.
No, I know, but I'm saying, I know. But that's what I'm saying. There was other good performances, obviously, that could have merited player of the week, no doubt.
I'm just saying.
As a matter of fact, I'd be interested to see who
the
sports writers pick this week or who they always pick the player of the week or offensive player of the week.
Right.
I'd be interested to see who they pick this week. There's a lot of performances to pick from.
Well, let me help you with that.
Sean's going to help us. Delilah.
When I saw what you guys both pick, I was kind of like, okay, who are they picking? Woo! They missed my guy. I got to shout out my tag team partner on what Nick said is the pilot show. Let's Talk Football, Miss Janae Struther. And no, we're not talking about Dak Prescott. So don't even think so, David. Get out of here with that. But her other guy with her Buffalo Billies, this man, Josh Allen.
There you go. See,
there it is.
Another great performance by Josh. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he and I think when we look at Lamar, we always say, we have to sit here and give. I don't know why, but we have to give him excuses for his arm. The guy can throw the ball, but we all he's overshadowed by his amazing running ability.
Sure.
Josh Allen has a cannon, yes, but Josh Allen is, I he might not have all the moves Lamar has, but Josh Allen is a baller, and he can run the ball and can run that offense extremely well. He has that team on fire. Delilah, you alluded to it earlier. He's 15 and 26 for 315 yards and 3 passing touchdowns, but then also had 59 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. I mean, he is that entire offense. Look, of course, yes, maybe I'm a little biased because Washington was sacrificed at the altar of Mount Josh Allen. Yes, he put up 21 points on my birthday before I was even able to eat my cake. So yes,
right, that's true. He did.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer. You know what I mean? but look, Josh Allen has the thing about this, and it's to your point, Delilah. We know the amazing player for player. Lamar might be a better, just all around athlete. Yes.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen has something that Lamar does not have.
He has a team.
A team.
He has a team.
Josh Allen has they have a complete team. Their defense is amazing. The offense is amazing. The special teams. I'm telling you, this Josh Allen is leading these guys in the right direction, barring injury. You know, knock on wood, God forbid. You know, any injuries.
In the words of Abloh, got to stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy, right? I'm telling you, Josh Allen definitely is my pick right now. He's got over 1,300 passing yards right now. Only 2 interceptions and 12 touchdowns. 102.5 passer rating. Josh Allen is the true. Bad. And I got. Hey, look, I'm gonna shout out my guy Nathan Snell again. Trust your eyes. Trust your eyes.
Trust your eyes. Right.
We've seen it from the beginning. Josh Allen is legit. And hey, that's my pick. And honestly, all 3 of these picks, if I was starting a franchise, I would take. I wouldn't have a problem with any one of these guys.
You know, one of my honorable mentions, because I know, and I saw like we're talking about Kyler Murray, but it's like there's a lot of guys to pick, but I just wanted to mention Derrick Henry again because he beat Jim Brown's record of. So Jim Brown had 4,759 rushing yards the first 40 games he played. Derrick Henry on Sunday beat that record with 4,792 rushing yards in his first 40 games.
Yep.
That is why they call him the king. And that's why I'm saying he is wasted in Tennessee. I'm sorry. They don't know how to use him. He deserves to go a team that can make it all the way and get him a Super Bowl win. Because right now it's not Tennessee, guys. We thought it was, but look at they got to
get it together.
So he
got problems.
He needs to go somewhere else, and that's what I'm saying. Like I know they need wide receivers at Baltimore, but they definitely need to take up some of the running back slack. Right?
Yeah.
You imagine Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on the same team? Like Jesus Christ.
But it would take a king's ransom.
I know money.
It'd take a king's ransom to get him.
Well, I was going to say, what would that take?
I know.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to pay anybody else on the team.
Yes, they're wasting his talent because they're not gonna. Right now, they're not gonna go all the way. They're not gonna go all the way with. Not with the team they have right now. Have you been watching the last few games? They're not. They're falling out.
Yeah.
And they're missing key pieces.
Well, that's the thing, and that you bring up a point, David, with what you just said. Can you imagine, with a legit quarterback who
exactly
when you can put 8-9 guys in the box because Derrick Henry's your only offense, then that's you know what I mean? Like that's what defenses do. You stop Derrick Henry, and you pretty much stop Tennessee's offense. So,
and he's still gonna run the ball on you. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter how much time he's gonna get around you, right? He's still gonna get about 60 yards a game, 100 yards a game, because no matter what, only so many guys can block this guy.
Right.
So that's what I mean by wasted. You don't think so, Nathan? I think it's wasted there. They don't have anything for him right now.
I think he said that. What he said. Oh, yeah.
Not a bad thing. Just a question mark, yeah.
Okay.
But I do think he's wasted there. At least with the team they currently have.
Like he has talent. We're not saying he doesn't.
Right.
Delilah's just saying it's kind of being wasted with the team overall.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
All those years with the Bears.
David knows what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's using years because running backs we know have a limited time.
It reminds me of Earl Campbell.
Oh,
you know what I mean? In those years with Love You Blue with the Oilers, and they couldn't get past the Steelers. But he was always, but it's like you said, you wasted the best years in those knees. The man could barely walk now. You know what I mean?
Earl was my hero as a kid.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love him.
Number 34 on the Houston Oilers, baby.
Oh yeah.
We loved Earl Campbell. Yeah, that was my.
Love you, Blue.
Again, I was a Bears fan always, but Earl Campbell was a guy I loved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He knows what I'm talking about. See, the same thing. I mean, they're making money off King Henry, but they're running his best years to the ground, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going down.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
On to the next thing.
Right.
You can't balance passing and rushing. Something has to give.
Right.
Well, now technically, Super Bowl teams can balance both of those. So
you can find a balance.
You can find the balance.
And teams that do are teams that usually win.
Yeah, those are the ones that
find the balance.
Keep it going.
Right. You generally can.
You have to find it though. Yes.
You do got to find it. It's not easy, but you can.
All right, we got to move in. We got to move on. We got a new topic on here called Hot Topics. We're not going to spend the rest of the show on this because we still have Nick's picks. We still have diversity with Delilah and one last word. Okay? Right. I'm not just saying this to my two co-hosts. I'm saying this to y'all in the comments.
Yeah.
I have a feeling some of y'all might have come for this period right now. We're on a topic called Hot Topics. And ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing hotter than what's going on in Vegas right now.
Ooh, doggy.
Oh, Mr. Gruden resigns after racist comments surfaced from past emails that
not just racist, homophobic, misogynistic, everything.
Look, incidentally, my owner was involved with. So let's see if hopefully we can get some collateral that let's couple him in there with get him out of there.
Let me tell you, like it's and I know everybody's like, oh, that's from 10 years ago and people grow. I'm like, do they though? Like some do. I'm not saying there can't be, but
I'm glad you brought that up, Delilah, because again, I really quickly I knew this was going to come up. So I only wanted to make because and again, I'm not defending John Gruden. I don't know him. This isn't really about him. This is an overall in terms of this kind of thing that you've seen happen. Because, I think back to a time when I was a teenage boy. And again, I know you're saying I was a teenager, you can justify whatever. But as a teenage boy, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm 48 years old now. I was a teenager 30 years ago. I said, I myself was a bit homophobic as a teenager. And racist comments were not something that I shied away from when given the opportunity. And the only reason I'm telling you guys that is because I feel like this is one of those things that's a very sensitive issue for people. And at some point in your life, maybe you've had this sort of thing happen where you've said something that you regret or you've done something that you regret. And, I'm lucky that, nobody cares who I am in that sense, that you would bring up something I did 15, 20 years ago and use it against me now in my professional career. I'm just saying, like I'm in this scope of things, I'm a nobody. This guy's the head coach of a major franchise, so you're going to take his email. And again, right. I don't know exactly what was said. I got the gist of it and you're right. Is it right? No, it's not right. It's absolutely wrong. And I know that the things that I said as a teenage boy and some of the things I did as a teenage boy were not right either. But you have to accept those. I mean, not accept, but you have to take the responsibility for those things and realize that you have, there was things in my life that helped me to change my attitude and to help me change the way I thought about certain things that gets me to the point where I am now, where I can say without a doubt, yeah, this stuff is terrible. This stuff is horrendous, but I don't want to seem disingenuous by pretending like I didn't do similar things. I maybe not to this degree, but again, and I don't want to say it like this where people are like, but I grew up in a different time where some of this stuff was a little more acceptable at the time. And that's not right either. I'm just saying that I could get away with it because at that time there was a different, the world was a little bit different and you didn't have people recording your every move or going back and trying to take your emails from 10 years ago and using them against you now. And I say all this to say that I am sorry personally for some of the things I've said and done in my life. And I could understand the thing of going, man, can you imagine if they pulled something I said 20 years ago and used it now to against me? Like, yeah, I mean, people can change. And again, maybe in your heart, you felt this way and and whatever, but I just think, I think he did the right thing. All this to say that I think John Gruden did the right thing by resigning. Because again, what else, you're going to take, what's coming next. Okay, let's be honest. It's coming. So you did the right thing. Whatever your true feelings are, I don't know, Mr. Gruden, because I don't know you. But I think you did the right thing by stepping down and saying, yeah, I don't want this to be a distraction to the team. This is all on me. I'm out. I got to go. And that's the way it should have been. And that's the way it happened. Because I'm sure there's more there. Let's be honest. Because where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most times anyways. And I think you have to accept that kind of responsibility and go, yeah, it's time to go. And whatever happens in the future to Mr. Gruden, hey, whatever. But again, I think it's important to note that, not all of us are blameless in this sort of thing. It's just, have you legit, change, come away to a different way of thinking or come around to whatever and change your attitude and like that. So I wanted to get that out there. And I just, again, I'll apologize again for anything I've said to offend anyone, even on here. Sometimes I talk off the cuff and I say silly stuff to be funny and all that, but I certainly never honestly want to offend anyone or anything. I know that I am no better than anybody else, and I'm just a guy who's trying to live his life and have a little fun. So, I embrace everyone, and I hope you guys, again, I do apologize for myself, and again, going forward, I hope we can all, maybe learn a little lesson from this, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think it's saying what you're going off of you. Yeah, it's about personal growth, right? And I think something you said is key there too, is that you said, you made comments when you were immature and young. And I'm going to say we're all perfect, right? 10 years ago, Gruden wasn't a teenager.
No, true.
But you're right. It doesn't mean that he hasn't had growth since then, right? But I guess with the issue is we don't know what were in their email in those emails. First of all, we don't know all the contents.
Right.
All we get are blurbs of was in there was homophobic slurs, misogynistic slurs, racial slurs, right? But we actually don't know what all of those emails have. But whatever was in there made him step down, right? Because he resigned before. He decided to resign, right?
Correct.
He took that step. He's like, forget it. And because he was right, it's going to take away from the team. I don't know how the team is going to play from here on out. Hopefully with the assistant coach stepping in and, maybe it's a fresh start for them. Who knows? Yeah, we've all said stuff we regret. Absolutely was perfect, right? No, and it takes, personal growth to learn from what you used to think, right? Your way of thinking. Because I grew up really insulated, right? I only, like I've said before, I only grew up around Black and brown folk. That's all I was surrounded with. So I'm sure my thinking is a little different, that was just,
Sure.
And I'm sure that, and I also grew up in the inner city, right? Not in the suburbs, not in the country. And it also comes with its own kind of ideas of what the outside world is, right? I was lucky where I was able to go to college and start to expand my horizons. That's where I grew. That's when I started growing, is meeting other people and learning from other people and really diving into stuff that I didn't know about before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it does take a person to decide to grow and go, hey, and constantly, everyone has bias, by the way. And you could talk to Kat. Sure. She's a teacher. She knows. Everyone has biases. And as an educator, we are taught to always sit down and check your bias, right? Yeah. Reflect on yourself. What is this thinking? What were you thinking? Why were you thinking this way? I guess that's where I'm coming from. So as an educator, we're trained to self-inspect ourselves all the time and be introspective and think about the students in your class, the students around you, right? Your colleagues, what they might be thinking, right? To do that point of view, right? The different perspectives. And then put that together and grow from that and learn from that and make adjustments. And that's basically what it's about. It's personal growth and taking self-responsibilities and, mature yourself. Honestly, ignorance isn't bliss anymore. That for me is out the window with the fact that everybody has computers now. Right. Everyone knows now, has an idea now of what has changed, what is progress, and everyone has the ability to self-educate. And if you're not self-educating yourself, that's on you, to be honest. That's on you at this point. If you can't take those steps to self-educate yourself and work on your personal growth and talk to people and go to a professional like, hey, this is, help me grow as a person. Because if you can't do it on your own, there's tons of outlets out there that can help you grow as a person. And so that's all I'm going to say on that. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't know what it's going to go going forward. I do agree with David. There's a lot of hypocrisy involved in this whole thing too. Although he wasn't fired, right? He stepped down before he could be. And it would have made the NFL look worse, right?
They probably would have fired it right before they.
So it would have made them look more like hypocrites if it was the NFL firing. With the Dan Snyder, quickly, I think it's a lot harder to push out an owner unless because look how long it took. What's his name from the basketball player? Yeah, look how long it took to get Sterling out of there.
Yeah,
it literally took all the other owners, and the problem, obviously, as you know, in Washington, is that he bought out the other owners.
Right, he's the only guy who has the say in
so it's very difficult.
I mean, that's the only part I had. I agree with everything y'all are saying. The only part I had, the problem in those comments, because that's Dave. I don't agree with that because for you to say that nothing has happened to Washington. and you didn't say nothing's happened to the Redskins because you can't say that. We start there. We start with everything that happened in the front office. We have a dance team. You ever been to an NFL football game, and there's a dance team and not cheerleaders into this because your owner is sending to other, you know what I mean? So listen, we've been torched, and the play is resembling a little bit of that, but. So that's yes, but I definitely agree. Hypocrisy is all over the league, absolutely all over it. And the owners, it starts with them and goes all the way down. And let's be honest, 10 years ago, Gruden was still that renowned, that famous, great guy. Everybody's hooting and hollering. He won the Super Bowl. Right. And somebody mentioned, I saw something on TV. He won with Tony Dungy's team. He just put a little bit of energy into that team. You know what I mean? That team was Tony Dungy's built that he took to a Super Bowl and played a team that he coached, so he already knew the other team. So you know what I mean? So let's not sit here and act like this guy's Vince Lombardi. So but again, like you said, Nick, it's about growth. It's about, hey, what you said 10 years ago might not be who you are today. We all are growing and trying to get better. So I mean, hey, that's all we can do. That's all we can ask for. But as for him and he did what he needed to do. He stepped down. He tried to take attention off of the team, put more himself off the team, let him get out of that. So, hey, let's that's where we're going to go with that. Yep. That's as far as we're going to go with that. Forced to take time. So agrees. Yo, you're saying Dan Snyder did not get punished by this? Dan Snyder didn't, just because he didn't get kicked out of office, he didn't get punished by this? Come on now. He bought the team, then he had to give half of it to his wife. So, what do we, like, the outside looking in is a little bit different. You know what I mean? So, he got punished. Dan has been getting torched for the last 2 years. The problem is everybody wants it to be like a Daniel Sterling thing. Let me say something to you. And Delilah, I don't want to offend you, but racism and stuff about homophobia and all this stuff still somewhat outweighs female, those type of things, like female issues. They're not going to get the same type of attention. Yes, he should have been out, but it's not like Donald Sterling when he says, why are you bringing them to my game when 90% of the league is them that you're asking not to bring to the game? You know what I mean? With Dan Snyder, what he did, unfortunately, is not going to get the same kind of backlash because we still have a far way to go with, how we view certain things involving women. And it's all.
Wait, you got cut off.
Yeah, we missed your last statement there, Sean. We still,
Yeah, I don't know. You're not coming through.
Your audio died somehow. But we missed some of what the end of it.
Don't worry about it. That means I didn't need to go on with it. All right, we're moving on. Delilah, diversity with Delilah, the longest running segment on this show, the Oorang Indians. Delilah, what you got?
All right, so now this is going into some again. So it's crazy. We left from that to another sensitive topic. All right, so I had to bring this up because it's something I just learned about, right? And it's the fact that back in the 1920s there was an indigenous Native American team. Obviously, it was very exploitive. So I'm just going to start off with that. They were named the Oorang Indians, and just so you know, Oorang is a type of dog, specifically an Airedale.
Didn't know that.
So, like the story of this team, is just the story of the love of casual racism, right? Like it is what it is. But the men that were on this team, and there's a couple quotes from them. We'll get into that. So basically, they were a traveling team because in the 1920s, most teams were traveling, right? Because it was actually expensive to have a stadium and stuff like that. So it was very common for a lot of teams to travel most of the year and go to major cities, which were the ones that actually usually had the stadiums, right? So they were from, LaRue, Ohio, which is near Marion, Ohio. The franchise was a novelty team that got put together by Walter Lingo, who was a rich man with tons of land in Ohio that owned a bunch of dog kennels. And so he knew Jim Thorpe because he was one of these guys that, appreciate. I don't know if appreciate is the right term, but he has some sort of fascination with Native Americans and Native American culture. And so he was hunting with Jim Thorpe on his land. And he's like, I want to put this team together and I want you to coach it. And that's they only played 2 seasons. So they didn't play for very long. They only played 2 seasons. So as I said, on our hunting tip, they decided that one way that this man was going to actually use this indigenous team to pretty much promote his dog kennels and his business. So that's one of the things of how this was set up. So Thorpe, who as I talked about Jim Thorpe months ago on DWD, and him being one of the first indigenous players and Hall of Fame and stuff running him. So he at this time it was really cheap to buy a franchise team, so it was $100. So he bought this franchise. Yeah, it was only $100. Which even with inflation, is still not a lot of money. So at the time, it cost $100. Basically, what Thorpe did was drafted a bunch of his buddies from his college days that went to Carlisle College with him. So he drafted a lot of Native American players. So basically, one of the reason that people don't talk about this, and even a lot of indigenous people, is because they really did have players from different tribes. They have members from the Cherokee, the Mohawk, Chippewa, Blackfeet, Winnebago, Missions, Sac and Fox, Seneca, and Penobscot. So they did have a lot of the different tribes represented. 2 of their players did end up on the Hall of Fame, and that was Jim Thorpe. The other one was Joy Guion. The team roster, which again, I think that's something too, because I know there was no other team in NFL that had names of indigenous players like, Woodchuck Wellams, Joe Little Twig, Samuel Big Bear, right? So basically, these men were playing on this all indigenous football team, and they didn't change their names to play this game, right? They went in there with their, Native American names. And when they traveled and they went to different teams, obviously they ran into a lot of racism, right? Wherever they went, the press would gun up and use racist characterizations. The marauding Indians are coming to scalp our local heroes, things like that. Every member, including Jim Thorpe, actually had to work for this man, not just as a football player, but also on his dog kennels. Basically, they had to build the crates. They were the ones that were monitoring the dogs and the building of the dog crates. The players' food and medical care, by the way, was provided by the dietitians and trainers that actually kept the Airedales healthy. Okay. So, however, even with this messed up way of receiving treatment, they're saying that basically this is how the team invented the training camp.
Oh, wow.
Chance, right? Because they had a medical staff and medical personnel and everybody on hand to treat the players whenever they got injured. Basically, patch them up and send them back in.
Yeah.
They weren't really a good team, unfortunately. They really only won of 3 games in the 2 years that they were out there, but that's because they weren't really meant to win, right? Again, this was more of a novelty. But like their quarterback said, their quarterback was his name was Leon Bootwell. He said white people had this misconception about Indians. They thought they were all wild men, even though almost all of us had been to college and were generally more civilized than they were. Well, it was a dandy excuse for us to raise hell and get away with it when the mood struck. Since we were Indians, we could get away with the things the whites couldn't. Don't think we didn't take advantage of it, right? And so so even though they knew that they were being used as a way to promote this guy, during the halftime shows, they put on traditional Native American dances, Native American shows, right? This one guy went out there and actually wrestled a bear, right? So and they were throwing tomahawks, right? And so
they don't do it like they used to,
right? And so even though they knew that most of these people were, but that's the reason what they were saying. They're like, white people never really thought of us outside of what they would see on movies and TVs and stuff. Absolutely. And so even though they were there, even though during the halftime was more of a showcase, but we were actually putting on real dances, right? Things that were important to our culture and our people. Sure. And so they knew they were being exploited, but they felt like that even though they were being exploited, that was the chance for them to go around the country and show white people, Native Americans are still here, like we haven't gone anywhere. And so again, it's a complicated history, but it's one that these men and their descendants always talk about because again, it was a way to travel the country. And like that dude said, he's like, okay, cool, I know white folk can't do this stuff, so we're gonna take advantage and do things, that they would get kicked off a team for, right? And really all they did was just go and, carouse around town and got drunk. And like one time they were saying they got really drunk and got on the trolley in the wrong direction. And so they just picked up the trolley and turned it around.
There you go.
And made the,
You do what you gotta do, right?
Yes.
So they were all drunk and they're like, let's flip this trolley. They flipped in the other direction. And
improvisation. See that?
Made the conductor take them back to where they were supposed to go.
That's hilarious.
Things. So that's what I mean. I don't mean like they did anything like untoward. They just got drunk around town, and
that's not the most normal thing.
Well, turning a train around, that's pretty. Try that one today to see how it goes.
I do that every couple days,
It was a trolley.
The car's not going the right way. Let's just
turn it around.
They just lifted it and they went the other way. They came into Chicago and like made the barkeeper stay open past time because they weren't ready to go home. So
I've tried that one.
Yeah. This is the 1920s. So.
Prohibition.
Well, it was after because it was 1922 through 1924.
Yeah.
So it was after Prohibition, But anyway, so again, I know it's a complicated history, but again, it's just one that has to be out there. And then unfortunately, we know that it's a common thing, right? The first people do anything into anything are always exploited. But the reason they take the chance is to pass on, to do something, right? To just go like, I know what's happening. I'm not ignorant of the way we're being treated. But in order to at least crack a few eggs, people have to put themselves out there, unfortunately. And these guys did.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Love that. Thank you so much for that, Delilah, and the complicated history of the Oorang Indians. Definitely want to look them up a little bit later and go deep into that. I love that. And Let me tell you, when I say I love that, I don't want you to think I'm just blowing smoke. I was the kid that had the NFL encyclopedia with the Canton Bulldogs and the whole, you know what I mean? Like, so I was a kid looking at that stuff. So this type of stuff to me, I was like, oh yeah. Like when you did Fritz Pollard ladies and gentlemen,
Fritz Pollard.
We have on my YouTube channel, we have
I'm a teacher.
we have a playlist of all of the diversity with Delilah's that Delilah's done. She's done a number. But she did one on Fritz Pollard. If you don't know, he's the first African-American coach in the history of the game. Actually, some kind of credit him for kind of co-starting the professional game.
Yeah.
You know? So, but there's always something new and always something that it's like, damn, I didn't know that. Thanks, Delilah. Okay. Cool. I like that. Hey, look, if we don't pass on this stuff, just like you said, Delilah, if we don't keep telling these stories, then these stories are going to get lost in time.
Yep.
One of the great traditions in the Native American community is sitting around telling stories, passing it along so that we can keep the memory fresh, keep it alive. So I absolutely love that. And now we go from that to gambling.
Yes,
with another the second longest running segment.
That's right, the second longest running segment on it.
Nick's picks. Nicholas, how did we do this week? I know you were 7-9 last week. How did we look this week?
All right, so going into this week, right, I was looking to finally get over the 500 mark, right? I thought I had my 4 games picked out. I'm like, this is going to be beautiful. You guys are going to see I'm going to rebound. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching that Green Bay Cincinnati game. Right, Cincinnati +3, right? We had Cincinnati +3. So all Cincinnati had to do was kick that winning field goal when they had the opportunity after Mason Crosby missed in regulation.
Yep.
To win the game outright, which would have given me a victory in that game. But we know what happened there.
Oh, yeah.
McPherson missed. Then Crosby missed again. Then McPherson missed the second one. And then Crosby missed again. And Crosby missed again. And then finally they whatever. So because that game is a push, you don't win. Because Green Bay won by 3. Which is what they were giving Cincinnati. But we did go 3-1 on the week, children. So we are now 500, 10-10. Again, I missed my chance to go over 500 with that Cincinnati game, but I did go 3-1 this week. So we're 10-10 now. We're 500. We're moving on up. As I told you, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But so this week, and again, this week, a little more challenging. I think I really had to look deep at these games and really decide what I wanted to go with this week. And so I'm going to save the one pick that probably makes me look like a lunatic for last. So we'll go with what a couple other games that are probably a little bit more. My first game is Buffalo and Tennessee. Now, this is an interesting one to me because Buffalo, as you know, has been the juggernaut lately.
Yeah.
And they're only giving up 3 points to Tennessee. They're -3. So to me, that's almost a no-brainer because I think Buffalo can beat Tennessee by more than 3 points given the recent history.
Yeah.
Now, again, stranger things have happened, and it is any given Sunday. But again, I think overall, when you look at this slate of games, taking Buffalo -3 is a pretty good bet, I think. So first game of this week, take Buffalo -3 over Tennessee. My second game of the week is another kind of interesting one, giving, again, we saw the shootout between, it's very the shootout we had with Cleveland and Chargers this past week. We could be due for another one. It's Arizona-Cleveland this week with Cleveland at home. Now, Arizona is actually the underdog. They are getting 3 points for Cleveland at home, which really surprises me that the line opened like this. So I'm going to take Arizona +3 on the road against Cleveland. Again, maybe they know something I don't, like Arizona has never been 6-0 before or something. I don't know. I don't have that particular information in front of me, but for whatever reason, they're an underdog and they're getting 3 points. So I will take Arizona plus those 3 points against Cleveland.
It could be that, right?
So next game, another one. Again, that could be a high-powered offensive juggernaut. And again, this one, Baltimore and the Chargers. Okay. Yeah. Baltimore, again, is the favorite here at home against the Chargers. And I have to go, do they know something I don't? Because as much as I like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I don't know that they can, again, in a shootout, though, again, anything can happen because we saw what happened last week with the Chargers and the Browns. But the Chargers are the underdog, and they're getting 3 points. So, again, I'm going to take the underdog Chargers plus 3 points against Baltimore, who's at home. I just think the Chargers are an overall better team. And if it comes down to a shootout, I think Chargers defense is a little bit better than Baltimore's. But, again, it is a crazy thing. But, again, this is on a Tuesday when I'm sitting here looking at these numbers. I'm like, this is the way I'm going. So just to recap real quick before I give you my last one, because that's where everybody's going to tell me, I'm really nuts. We're going to go Buffalo -3. Buffalo -3 on the road against Tennessee. Arizona +3, also on the road against Cleveland, who is at home. And I'm taking the Chargers +3, who are there on the road as well against Baltimore this weekend. Chargers +3. Now, for my fourth and final pick, this one I thought long and hard about as I looked at some of the other games and decided I was going to stay away from Chicago Green Bay because that's just too emotional for me. I can't do it. I can't. Carolina, Minnesota. I give a crap who wins. For Cincinnati, Detroit. Hopefully, Cincy will win. Blah blah. Denver, Vegas. Whatever.
Tell me
Dallas, New England. No, I didn't go. I didn't take the Washington game because the same thing. It's like Kansas City. I mean, just if you want to know, Kansas City is favored by 7. So
Good.
You guys are not
going to win by 10.
Let's go. Yeah. So the most final game. This is Miami and Jacksonville. Okay.
Oh.
Jacksonville is at home. Okay. Now follow me here, folks. We all know Jacksonville's 0-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miami comes in as the favorite, of course. Giving up 3 points at an away game. And I feel like Miami is a team in shambles. And again, not that Jacksonville isn't per se. And that's more because of the coach, because Urban Meyer is doing stupid stuff. But at some point this year, if there's ever a chance for Jacksonville to sneak a home victory, it's against these Miami Dolphins, my friend. And so here we go. I'm going to take Jacksonville as the underdog at home +3 over Miami. All right. Trevor's first win over Jacoby Brissett and the Dolphins. Remember, Tua's not playing. So I'm going to go Jacksonville +3 over Miami at home.
Wow.
Cue Janae Struther.
Wow. Right. Oh, yeah. You want it? I'll give it to you.
That make me crazy.
I don't think it does. But I love Janae. I love when Janae pops up.
Those are my 4 picks for this week. Now, mind you, again, we went 3-1 last week, folks. We're on the come up. I am now 10-10 for the season. So looking to go over 500 this week and have a good week. So real quick again, Buffalo -3 against Tennessee. Arizona +3 against Cleveland. Chargers +3 against Baltimore. And the crazy pick of the week, Jacksonville +3 against Miami.
Wow.
There you go. Those are Nick's picks.
Wow.
And as always, I am Nick Rosario. You cannot stop me. You can only hope to contain me. Thank you very much.
Yes. Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, definitely tune in. Definitely follow Nick. Okay. If you want a 50-50 shot of winning,
that's definitely. Right. I am 50-50 right now, baby. So you got half a chance that you. There you go.
It's better than nothing. Let's go.
That's right. It's like putting C for every answer on a Scantron test.
Right.
You put C for every answer. Eventually, you're going to hit. So you get 50-50. So I just put C for everything.
Let's go. Hey, well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the show. But as you know, we always leave you with one more thing. One last word. Yeah, buddy. One last word where we kind of give you a little something that's on our mind. Maybe it's a little nugget. Maybe it's a little gem. Maybe it's a little anecdote. Whatever it is, we're trying to give it to you, send you away with something nice, and hope that you'll be back with us next week. So, Delilah, I'm coming to you. One last word. Yeah.
Yeah, no, all I want to do is cheer on my Chicago Sky. They're playing game 2 in the WNBA finals tomorrow against the Mercury. Come on, let's go. Woo, get this 2-0. Come on, let's get this win. Let's bring the championship home to Chicago ladies. We believe in you. Here's some good mojo and good juju. Like, I got to bring that cane from the White Sox game the other day. That guy should have showed up.
The guy with the cane, that was great, by the way.
Anyway, but yeah, honestly, wish y'all the best. And yeah, let's make it 2-0 in the series.
Let's get it. Nick, what you got, man?
Well, it's not just one last word, I guess. It's a saying. And again, it's just one of those things where it's actually one of my favorite things, and it just seems to come across me every now and again. And when it does, I feel like I should share it. So for all of you, for the hundreds in attendance, and for the other 100 watching at home, what I have to say to you this week is
3 people, Nick.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to beef it up a little bit. I don't want to say thousands, but 100, it's what it is. But it goes like this. Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is a gift. That is what I have to say to you, my friends.
There you go.
Enjoy today, for tomorrow is promised to no one.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
I love it. Wait. David said I count for 100. Get out of here. We have 102. Get out of here.
There it is, 102, right?
Well, hey, real quick, my last word. Honestly, I went to the Washington game. Absolutely amazing. Got to hang out with 2 of our friends. Actually, I live in Chicago. Lisa Harvey and my guy Jeff. And they love the Saints. They're from New Orleans, so they loved it where we were sitting. Everything went well. It was fairly perfect. Obviously, we lost the game, but the seats were, you guys saw the pictures. The seats were pretty solid. The
seats were great, yeah.
So, hey, I absolutely enjoyed myself and definitely had a fun time. Did want to mention something. And I kind of started to bring this up the first week. And if you watched the football, Let's Talk Football yesterday, you heard me talk about it. The first week of the season when we went to the Chargers game, I had a guy behind me sit there and say, hey, sit down, man, I can't see, yada, yada. And there was an opportunity where I could have turned around and been like, my man, we could have gone back and forth.
Right.
I wasn't with the right. It just wasn't going to happen. So I just took myself out of that situation. Well, we got to the game this week, and, again, people will be people. Had a couple, like 4 or 5 little young boys, that was next to us that were kind of, little feel. You got that entitled feeling. They had their beers, they had their stuff. So maybe a little younger than frat boys. It kind of like felt like, oh, we can do what we want and say what we want, yada yada. We were cool with them, you know what I mean? But they, long story short, they were drinking and even started puffing like in the stadium.
Really?
And I'm like, my first question was, how the heck did y'all get that mess in here?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was weird, but it started happening. Long story short, their couple rows back, there was a family, a mother, son, and dad, and basically, like, it was kind of like, yo, are y'all kidding right now? So they went and talked to the security, and as they're talking to security and just saying, yo, there's a smell over there, I was wondering if you can check it out. The guy saw her, so then the guy started, like, berating her with comments and all this, just saying all this off-the-wall stuff. So then, obviously, the husband comes down and sends the wife, and what did you say to my blah, blah, blah? And the guy said, oh, you know what I said? Blah, blah, blah. They go back and forth. Long story short, you got these young boys that are, on whatever. Dude hops up over the seat, tries to confront, and you got these guys kind of like choking and going. I mean, it got ugly very quickly. And where we were sitting, we were in the front row on the upper deck. So, like, right under us is where, like, the Titantron and the Ring of Honor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you tumble over that, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody saving you. That's a far drop. So it was just crazy, man. We moved the ladies away and kind of tried to, like, break it up. There was a bunch of us kind of getting in, trying to break it up and stop, and they're still going back and forth, and it's ridiculous. Honestly, my one last word, guys. Look, I already know you see the smoke that we give in this in here. You see all the back and forth. Honestly, it's all love. We're doing this because we're passionate about our teams. We love talking about our teams, and yeah, we get animated. Yeah, sometimes we get heated. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned to you guys, me and Nate went back and forth yesterday, and it was over something trivial. You know, I don't like the way you're talking about my team on, you know, and this, and you know, and I think the Ravens. This is what it is. We're just going back and forth. It's not. I'm not going to go out to it and fight him over this stuff.
Right.
You know, that's stupid.
Yeah.
They're it's not worth that. Let me tell you that right now.
Not at all, yeah.
But there seems to be this new little craze. Delilah, I remember you sending me that video of the Bears-Rams game where, you know, those guys were trying to jump on the one dude. There seems to be this new thing, like where it used to be with the World Star Fight videos. Now it's like fight videos at these games, and it's becoming a fad. It's like people are coming just for that nonsense. It's ridiculous, man. I pay good money to take my people out to go see a game, to go watch the game. Okay? Yes, I'm ticked off too. You saw what product we put on the field. Okay? Yes. But I'm not going to go fight somebody and bring, do illegal stuff in the stadium and act a fool. You know what I mean? I work all week and all my job, do whatever for that moment to come. And now this is 2 games that I've gone to this year with that same BS happening. It messes with me. And I talked to my pop about it. And he was like, man, I don't know if I want you going to them games anymore because you got people out here that they're stupid. They don't care.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't never know what somebody's going to do. Like you see this all the time in everyday life, people on the bus, people on the train or whatever. Like you look at somebody wrong and that person decides to say something or whatever, or like, they think you're looking at them wrong. And then they, you got a problem, pal, and then all of a sudden it escalates into something that should have never happened in the first place. I mean, it's the unfortunate part of the world we live in this day. But man, please, people, be safe out there. Like, don't be stupid. Like, just
it's just not worth
it. If you could just walk away, just walk away.
Yeah, it's not worth it, guys. Yeah,
it's really
not worth it. And the thing that I kept thinking about was like, dude, you got kids around here. You know what I mean? It's already like we know games are not PG. We know games can get rated R quickly with the vulgarity, drinking, people doing all that stuff. But you got kids over here, and you are bypassing the kids to really like climb over seats and fight somebody. Like, are you really that jaded in your mind that you can't think of anything else? You're just so enraged over what? Over y'all doing something stupid. So that it grinds my gears. You know what I mean? It rubs me the wrong way.
For sure.
Because it took joy, and this is, like I said, the second time it took joy away from the game, and this was their first game. You know what I'm saying? So for that to be that first experience, I hate that. I personally hate that. But I don't want it to take away. It was still a great experience, still a great game. We didn't win, but it was still, it was great seats and everything like that. So that's that. And so, hey, that's where we're gonna go. That's where we're gonna go. We still find joy. Amen. Absolutely. So, hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, we appreciate you guys visiting with us, being here with us this Tuesday for Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. We will be with you next week. Definitely tune in. We got good stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and this week coming up is going to be quite interesting. Washington getting the upset. Let's get it going. Let's go.
Here we go.
I had to put it on there.
Look, upset first too, hopefully. Bears over Packers. Let's do this.
Let's go. You're right. Send it right up. Yo, for myself, Sean Spencer, got Delilah Crespo over here, Nicholas Rosario under me. Here we go. Yo, we love you guys. We so appreciate you. We thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you guys next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Janae Strother. I'm Sean Spencer. We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. New music, so fine.
All right. I am Janae Struther.
Sean Spencer.